going on, guys? Dan with Barrel Blades and Barbells. Today, I'm finishing up. We're finally finishing up the Michelangelo build. The part that I was waiting for, Strike Industries, suppressor height sights. I got them ordered. They showed up, and here they are. A couple little doodads, just the front and rear sight post. I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing here and how to put this thing together. So I'm sure there's plenty of other videos on how to put sight posts on, but this is just how I do it. So enjoy. All right, so just like with any video that I do, this one I've already tore apart, but always make sure it's clear before you do anything with a firearm. Safety first. So here's the thing about putting rear sight posts. The front sight post is pretty simple, straightforward. Little dot of blue Loctite, put it in there, put the screw in the bottom and tighten it down. It's pretty straightforward on that. The rear sight post, however, is a dovetail application. So basically what you've got is, let's see if I can get it here. So there's an angle on this side and an angle on this side, and it's not a 45, but it's cut in a V taper. So it actually goes in this way. So if you look, the V taper is up and in, which is the exact opposite of up and out on this. So they slide together and they bite on each other. The problem is when you buy a slide that's been Cerakoted or even painted, there's a small coating of material that gets put in on the actual surface of the metal. So the problem is when you go to put this thing on, it'll bind. And there's a couple things that you can do specifically to make it easier. Now, I've watched all kinds of YouTube videos and different, things people do to help get the process done. I've even seen people freeze their parts. So you can actually freeze them. You put them in the freezer for like, 10, 12 hours, and it will actually cause them to shrink just ever so slightly. And then I've seen some people put the slide in an oven before just to heat it up, which will allow it to expand a little bit, and they slide together a little easier. I've never done that. I'm not saying you can't. It might make it easier. I don't know. Me personally, I'm more of a make it fit kind of guy. So what I have is, and you can see it's already turning orange, is I have a very fine triangle file. So it's a triangle this way. You can kind of get a view of it there. But what I actually do is take it and eyeball the angle and just push through. And as you can see, it starts removing that surface material. You can see the shine there. So slowly but surely it will remove the material. Now you don't want to go in an angle. You want to go straight across. So you want to go nice and slow. Put it on there, make sure it's flat, push across. Bring it back, flat, push across. Continuing that process, and what you'll get is you'll actually be able to start it in there. Now I like to get, as you can see, first off, the Strike Industries has a set screw that goes in there. So if by chance you go a little too far, it's not a big deal. The set screw, lock it in place. You put a little drop of Loctite on there, slide it in there, lock it down. It's not going anywhere. But for all intents and purposes, the idea is to make a nice, clean fit. Now, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I was always told to go from this side to this side. So from essentially right to left while you're looking down the optics or down the sight. That's how I've always done it. I'm not saying you can't come in from the other side. That's just what I was always told. But I am very, very close to having this to where I want it. So I'm going to cut away here and do just a little more dry fitting, and then I'm going to show you the next step to this process. All right, so I have a vise sight tool that I use. It's this guy here, and yes, it looks rather complicated, but it's a pretty simple process. So if you look on the top of it, it actually says muzzle forward that way. So you put it in this way, and the muzzle faces forward. All right, all you have to do is you got to kind of line it up before you put this thing together. So what I do is I take just a drop of gun oil. I just got some freaking hops that I use, and I just add just a tiny little dab onto either side of this thing, just to give it a little little slide, if you will. I got just a little more than I wanted there, which is okay, but we'll clean it up. So just, you don't need a whole lot, just a tiny little dab will do you. The idea is to give it some lubrication. It is metal on metal, so you're sliding metal on metal in here. Now, muzzles forward, make sure you're putting the sight in from the right side, and then you're just gonna get it started like wiggling it with your finger. See how it's off the side there? All right, now this is where it gets a little complicated because you gotta line this, this one apparatus up, because it's the part that actually pushes. And I will show you once I get it lined up. There. So this thing is designed specifically to crimp on either side. It's got like Delrin to keep it square. It's got Delrin like pads that squeeze against so you don't mar it up. So this is what it looks like when it's all designed or set up. Now you can see my sight is inside this channel here. And then all I'm going to do is rotate this handle. It's going to push it through. So now one thing I want to point out is when you're doing it, you want to try keeping this bottom as close to the top of the slide as you can without touching. It gets, the closer you can get it, the better off you are. Then you're just going to start turning it, and you're just going to go nice and slow. No hurry whatsoever. And it will just push right on there, which is exactly what it's doing. Let's see if I can get a view of it here for you so you guys can actually see it going on. So you can see as I turn that, it just pushes that thing right up in there. Nope, sorry. It's hard to see that way. Now you can see it doesn't take a whole lot. Like I'm just using one thumb to push that, so it doesn't take a whole lot of pressure. Now, if you look right there, there's some markings, and those markings indicate the center to some degree. Now, I did not have it lined up quite square, so I'm going to have to eyeball mine, but once you get it to where it looks to be pretty close to on center point, that's essentially all you have to do. Back the pressure off two side pieces. Maybe I got them on there pretty good. There we go. Back the pressure off the top piece. Take it all the way up so it'll slide out. And bow, she's on there. Now these are suppressor height sights, so they stick up just a little bit, and I think I'm going to move it over to the left just a touch more. Should be good, I think.
Daddy.
What, bud?
Why is the gate open?
Because I'm working on a gun.
Dad, can I look
All right,
at
that
the
looks...
flashlight just a second? I won't take it upstairs.
Yeah, you can play with it.
Okay.
So as you can see there, that's pretty centered up. I like the way that looks. So I'm going to cut away, get ready to do the front sight post, and we'll go on. Correction on that. I forgot that I have to put the set screw in this bad boy. So Strike sends essentially everything you need to put the whole thing together. So it comes with a little set screw, already has blue Loctite on it and the wrench for it. All you gotta do is drop it in the hole and tighten it down. And that blue Loctite, that tape type they use, does have quite a bit of grip. I'm impressed with that. A lot of times there's not enough on there. You have to put just an extra drop, which is fine, but they have enough on there. And there you go. Screws in, sights are on. All right. Now we move on to the front side post. All right, so I bought a, it's Vism, V-I-S-M sight kit from, I actually got it off of eBay, and I'm pretty sure it's Chinese-made stuff, but I could be wrong on that. I honestly don't know where it came from, but the kit works great. I've not had any issues with it. So if you're looking for a way to put your stuff together, this is a decent kit to do it with. Another thing that it comes with, it came with that piece I showed you earlier. It also comes with this. The back opens up. It's got some tools in it. And then it's got this guy here. Now, this is specifically designed for putting front sight posts on. As you can see, the screw's already in there, but it's magnetic as well. And this has a locking, like, you know, detent in it. So you have to push down, drop the whichever tool you're using in, and then you can continue. So make sure you orient your front sight post correctly. Now, these do have an oval type cut in them, and they can be a little finicky to get in. I had one that caused me some headache, but generally speaking, they just push right in. If it doesn't push in, you might take a little tiny rat tail file and just very slightly clear the hole out, because once again, these are cut to a tolerance, but then they're coated, so the coating can cause issues. And I think I might have to do that on this one. So just so you guys know, I got this little kit.
It's white.
I see that. That's awesome, bud. Bought a little file kit, which has been super handy for this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to take this little round file and just kind of clear off.
Say hi.
You want to say hi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, say hi. Well, okay, that was not what I was expecting, but okay.
Look at it.
I will say that I'm going to try cutting this at just a slight angle down and in. That way, as it pulls in, it gets just ever so slightly tighter. I'm barely taking any material also. Just want to get it enough that I can start the screw in square. Oh, almost had it right there. If you look, you can start to see there's orange. It's from the coating, the Cerakote that's on it. So like I said, you got to clear off the Cerakote a little bit, but I'm gonna file down on this a little bit so you guys aren't sitting here watching me do nothing. I'm gonna file down on this a little bit, and then I'll come back when I got it fitted. All right, so I cleared out a little more of the material, and I did use a hammer, I'm not gonna lie. I have a Armor's hammer that I use. So once I got it started down in there straight, just give her a little love taps. Went right down in. Make sure when you're hitting on stuff, you use when you're bracing on, use another surface that isn't going to mar up your weapon. So all right, so we got our front sight post tool and the front sight post in. Now all we do is get the screw into that little tiny hole, which can be a bit of a challenge, I will tell you that. Try to do it as straight and as square as you can. Some slides are easier to get in than others. Trying to get that screw just started, it can be a bit of a pain sometimes. And this one is wanting to be a pain already. Part of it's because of the amount of blue Loctite on the tip of this. There, I think we got it. All right, now you do not want to over tighten this. It just needs to be snug. And that's interesting. My tool seems to have stripped off, so that's fun. The good news is I think I have a backup. Huh. My bit end here has apparently stripped off, so I think this other tool, yeah, comes with a backup, so hopefully we can get it with this one. Yep, we're good. For whatever reason, that one stripped off. I might have to crimp it back down or something. You don't want to over tighten these. I think they're supposed to be like 14 foot-pounds or something like that. I don't have one of those fancy kits yet. I will get one at some point, but I don't have one yet. But there you have it. Sights are on. So nothing terribly complicated when putting these on. Just take your time. Like I said, use a triangle file on the rear, clear it out. If you want to try doing the freeze option, by all means, freeze it. And then, you know, if you want to heat up the slide, be careful. You don't want to melt anything. You have to gut it out. And then on the front sight post, clean it, put it down in there, and you should be good to go. All right, so let's stick this thing back together. And I think I'm actually going to do a full build video on this, just because this has been like a very cool build for me. This has been like the first fully custom build that I've done. I've done several P80 builds, but this is the first one that's been like, hey, I want to do something kind of crazy off the wall, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So there, I got the slide all put back together. And there she is. Got my optic or my sights on there so I can see. Everything looks pretty lined up. I will say the only thing left is I am going to put a red dot on it, but I haven't made it that far yet. So only because they're on back order. So yeah, so that's how you do front and rear sight posts. I'm gonna probably post both these videos back to back. I'm gonna post this one, and I'm gonna do a full tear down and a build of this, or a build video of this, so that way I can show it all at once. So yeah, hope you guys like this video though. Hopefully it was informative enough for you to kind of figure out, if it's your first time putting sights on, how to do it. And you know, it's nothing terribly complicated. Watch a couple YouTube videos and go to town. So if you like the video, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like, all that stuff. As always, stay tuned, stay tactical, and I'll see you next time.